Welcome to my channel, Daisy Cakes. This is Daisy X Machina, the drag queen detective that investigates all things speculative in science fiction, fantasy, and horror. And this is a Get Ready With Me where I get into drag to film a video later today. And Lori popped in to say she can't be here today, but she's nesting in her home, busy hanging pictures, moving furniture, all that fun stuff. Well, thank you for popping in, Lori. Lynette is here, yay. John is here, yay. And Mooney is here. All right. Hope things are okay in your neck of the woods, Mooney. I know things are crazy in the world. So, how is everyone's reading going this week? I don't have much to report, but I did start Flavia de Luz, what's it called? The latest, What Time the Sexton's Spade Doth Rust. I always like the names of her, of the Flavia novels by Alan Bradley. And I'm about 40% in, and I love it as always. I'm so amazed. I don't know how Bradley does this, but obviously he does research in the current events of the time of the 50s, but the vernacular, everything he seems to pull, these little details just seem to be as though he knows that period or has lived through that period. And I guess he just reads a lot. I don't know how you would research some of the vocabulary stuff. Like there's something called, another term for umbrella. I never heard of it before. It was like umberto or something. And I looked it up. Is that a real word? It's a real word, but it's like slang for umbrella for ages ago. But all these little things like that. Anyway, this Flavia is harkens back just to your regular old murder mystery. Some of the books they all have murders, but sometimes I forget that there's a murder happening until like 2/3 of the way through when it comes back because they're dealing with other things in Flavia's life. But this one is pretty much a murder mystery. I love it so far. It's not the best so far of the Flavia books, but I am enjoying it. Cool Gamer is here. Yay! Only finished one book, Somewhere Beyond the Sea by Clune. I didn't know his TJ stood for Travis John. And I do plan on reading that one because I like the first book, unless you tell me it's terrible. What did you think of The Gripping Hand? I don't think I've read that one. Was I supposed to read The Gripping Hand? Frankie! My week was scary since my friend went, but they found her. Oh, that's good. And, Mooney found a new bookstore. I read one book, but I'm reading The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and rereading The Beautiful Ones. You know, sometimes it's fun just to read a silly, fun book. Because for me, anyway, books have always been an escape. Was on TikTok. You could not get off. Oh, dear. Oh, it's a sequel to Moat in God's Eye. I don't know if I've read that. I do not know if I've read that, John. But it's one of those books where if I look it up, there's a very good chance I'll start reading the blurb or the first chapter and realize that I have read it. Have you done that? I remember one time I bought a book at a bookstore because I thought, oh, this blurb is, this is right up my alley. And of course, I had already read the book. And they were kind enough to return the book because I went back like the next day. I was like, I've read this book already. Reading Sabbath Theater by Philip Roth. There's a name. Not as good as the first book. My favorite TJ Clune is In the Lives. Oh, really? Maybe I'll read that one instead. I should read both. But what was I saying? Oh, the other one that I kind of want to read more is the new T. Kingfisher book. Something about a sorceress. The sorceress comes this way. Something about a sorceress. Because I love Kingfisher's writing so much. Weird found. Sometimes humor is really weird. One of the dirtiest books I've read recently won the NBA, the National Book Award. I met a friend who is also a friend for the one who went missing, and I told, try not to get lost. I don't know why it's so funny. It's a little funny. Okay, so I don't even know if I'm going to film today because this is actually Gay Pride in Las Vegas because, normally it's in June, but you never have a parade in June in Las Vegas, even if it's at night. And it's still warm here in October, but the parade is at night and it's very short. It's like, I don't know, 6 blocks or so. And it was last night. Tonight they're having these festivals. And a friend is stopped over from Sacramento and we went out last night. And I'm getting so old. I just hardly ever go to clubs anymore. And my back was hurting and I think my sciatica was acting up. But today I said, well, maybe because I'm filming, maybe I'll go out and drag. Um, but maybe I won't. We'll see. But the point is that I didn't really plan on a video today because it's been busy. But I may, if I have time, do another Shelve It or Shove It for probably for December because I already did November. Planning ahead. Okay. Just mailed in my vote for press. Thank God it's over. I I could, but I kind of like going to the polls. Am I weird? I've always liked going to the polls or to vote in person. Also doing cat and dog sitting. All right. TJ Clute is asexual. And it's funny because I assume he's not a romantic because many of his books are have these romance themes, even though they're not sexual. Does it pay well? Well, it's if you get to stay at someone's house, that's always cool. In Israel, it's usually June. Yeah, for Gay Pride, it's always in. If you look it up on any calendar, it's in June. It's just because of the heat, they wait for the parade and festival till October in Las Vegas. I've been reading his bio, TJ Klune. I did a little bit for the fantasy 100 top fantasies. You have to change my address for absentee voting. 5 days. Not sure what that means. I always vote in person. Yay. When you are old, you mail it in. Well, I'm older. I don't know. I still like going there. How long are the polling lines for you? They aren't too bad. Well, I haven't been to a presidential election in Vegas yet, but in Oakland and San Francisco, it was never that bad. And it's funny in San Francisco, um, depending on where you live, sometimes it's just like the polling place is like someone's garage, which is always interesting. They're always like older, senior people. But here in Vegas, I am like within walking distance to the middle school or junior high, one of those little people schools. And so, there's a big gymnasium that you can go to. Also, when you're a caregiver, how much in US dollars? Heat can be a real issue. Yeah. I mean, Vegas is a desert. And yeah, when it's over 100, even though it's a dry heat, it's really not healthy to be out unless you're really covered. And people don't cover themselves up. Like, I think I've talked about it before. I've been going for walks because for health reasons. And I cover myself. I have a hat, long sleeves, the whole works, sunscreen. But people don't do that here. It's weird. $53. Frank, are you thinking about cat sitting? We have a sick cat. In Australia, we grumble. We have to wait in line 5 minutes to vote. We complain even more if there's no sausage cake stand outside the polling booth. You are spoiled there in Australia, and I love it. I don't think I've ever waited longer than 30 minutes. Okay, I need to get started. Oh, Lynette, thank you for talking on one of the comments on one of the videos about my cat. She is, we took her to the vet. They had to sedate her to run any sort of test because she goes berserk at the vets. And they tested her. She's considered geriatric at 16, but they tested her and there's no diabetes, there's no thyroid, there's no liver, there's no kidney, excuse me, which are the common things for older cats. And so we're putting her on steroids because we assume it's probably in the intestines because her intestines were inflamed. And hopefully that will work. Oh, what am I doing? I think I want to do something colorful. I may do orange, blue, no, blue, orange, then maybe red, yellow. Maybe I'm thinking about trying a rainbow color with everything but green. Or maybe screw it. Maybe I'll just try to do a rainbow. And if it doesn't work on a green screen, so be it. Green just shows up as gray on green screen. Or sometimes it'll poke through, but the way I use it, it's gray. Sure you don't want to know this. Okay. Actually, I think I better outline what I'm going to do first. Could probably make more from cat sitting than Social Security, oh dear. Never want to go to Vegas, don't understand the attraction. Well, I actually grew up in a desert area in Hemet, California, which is near Palm Springs. So I always like the weather here. And I know when you think of Vegas, if you're not thinking about heat, you think about the gambling. The gambling section of Vegas is called the Strip, and it's just a small little sliver of Vegas. And Vegas is actually pretty large. Although it is a gambling town for sure. Okay, so what I want to do. Oops. Glad you hasn't had diabetes or thyroidism. My cat had to have insulin injection every day. See, that would be unreal. Right now, since we have to give her the steroids, we even got it in sort of a liquid form that's chicken flavored. Which costs much more than like a pill, but it's the only way we can get her to take it on a daily basis. Me and Library, it's great. I enjoyed the comic and RPG gaming stores. I used to also have to prick his ear to take blood glucose. Oh no. Plus give him tablets for his hyperthyroidism. Poor baby. Okay. I guess I'm going to start with yellow and then go. Oops. Jeez Louise. Okay, I've never actually done a rainbow look, so this could go very wrong. Heard cops in Vegas do not allow homeless people on the streets. How do they do it? They don't. There's homeless people. They actually have a library. Nightsticks and trips to the desert. Yes, yes. Because Vegas was, it's kind of gross too, because that's like one of our main water supplies, Lake Mead. But Vegas was founded, if you'll see The Godfather, by the mob, by the mafia in the I don't know when Vegas was founded. I want to say like 40s. But of course, by the time the 50s, 60s came around, it was well known as the sort of gambling and entertainment spot for like the Rat Pack, Sinatra, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr. But anyway, the theory is that since it was founded by the mob, the old saying about cement galoshes, they hid bodies in the Lake Mead. Oh shoot, I'm doing this wrong. I was going to start with red or yellow. I don't know what I'm doing. It'll have to go, there's going to be no green. Or green would go down here. I don't know. I guess it could wrap around like red, orange, yellow, green, blue. I don't know if I like that. I don't like that. Oh, they seem to be a thing in Britain. Scotland are two separate entities. What are we talking about? Oh, the heraldry. I think society has come up with horrible solutions for homelessness. They can't be frank, impossible. Scotland is the northern half of the island of British. Bugsy Siegel, yep. I don't know if he's the Vegas guy, but homeless park benches, etc. 1905. Oh wow, so that's really early. But it must have been later that it became that strip was founded or really developed, because the mafia really didn't come into power until after Prohibition. Because obviously, if you don't know, supply and demand, if you make something illegal, there's still going to be a supply and demand, and thus black markets are formed. Be less homeless as Airbnb goes bust. I don't think that is what happens. Devolution. You're in serious trouble. Scotland felt betrayed by the Brexit vote and wants entirely separate country. Okay, I'm going to go to red. I think I'm going to have to do that. I'm going to have to do the purple, blue, or the blue, indigo, violet, the cut crease. The Scots have tried to separate nation again since 1974. The Union of Crowns was bad enough, but the Union of Parliament in 1707 was a disaster. I don't know anything about that part of the history. Sticky keys. Airbnb is a big problem in my city because we are a tourist destination and have so many Airbnb rentals. If Scotland actually leaves the UK, US Defense Department will go bonkers. All for Scottish independence to join the EU. Okay. Okay. I need to darken this up. Yeah, there are different types of homeless. There's a small percentage of people that just like to be homeless, sort of, the tramps of yesteryear, riding the rails, as they used to say. But then there's the percentage that are just mentally ill. And there is a correlation in the 80s when I guess I want to get political. Well, we can be political. Lori's not here. Cut the budget for mental health department. A lot of mentally ill people that were institutionalized were just released onto the streets and became homeless. And of course, the most tragic is, well, I guess they're all tragic, but are the people that just economically lose their jobs and there's no safety net and they just find themselves with no choice. But yeah, it's a tough problem. Okay. John, yes, John is intimately familiar with British history. As a native Brit Celt, I like to be enjoying the homeless lifestyle. Price of housing is a big factor. It's gone up and up and up. Yep. Okay. Okay. Price of housing, yep. I am lucky I'm in government housing, but there have been huge cuts in public housing in the last few decades. My rent is a quarter of your household income. Yeah, that sounds like everyone should aspire to that. I have no time for WASPs. Talking about white Anglo-Saxon Protestants. The place I live in is on a frigging reverse, which means one day a reverse mortgage. I thought reverse mortgages meant that the bank can't take possession until you pass away. Because my father was on one of those. Okay. Do I really want to do green? No, I think I'm going to try just wrapping it around with orange, blue, and purple. Ancestors from the Isle of Skye, stonemason. Wazick Anglo-Saxon Pranox, or annoying Anglo-Saxon idiots. Okay, that is very regional. Another Scottish ancestor was from Oban. Okay. Wrap the yellow around. Now, I may end up making a little green when I add this blue. Okay. Okay, we're talking about ancestry. Lynette's most of my ancestors were Poms. This back has a mind of its own. Oban is a town on the west coast of Scotland. Oban is a town. Seat of Clan MacDougall. My ancestor from Oban was Archibald McIntyre, his wife, Catherine Stewart. Once read a book called MacDougall Plan because was thinking becoming a vegetarian. So you wouldn't go to a fish and chip shop. I just had fish and chips last night for dinner. Okay, so I don't know about this. Hoping this will look more blended. So use the powders. Doesn't feel very blended to me. Let me. Well, this will have to do. Just had Applebee's delivered, very tasty. The McIntyre MacDougall clans are related. Well, aren't they all? Yeah, by now it's very likely. It's, yeah, 6 degrees of separation. I have a book to read about the Appin murder, about the assassination of Colin Roy Campbell, the Red Fox in 1745. Don't know anything about that either. Okay. think I need to refresh my black pen. Or not. Sorry, I know I keep talking to myself. But... Okay. Do the Brits still have fox hunting? I think so. Oh, it's outlawed. I didn't know that. The only reason Australia has foxes is because some upper-class toffs introduced them for fox hunting. It is outlawed in Scotland, but the English still do it. It is kind of bizarre, the whole fox hunting thing. Oh, thank you, Frank. Foxes were unable to get a foothold in Tasmania, probably due to the Tasmanian devils. How are those devils? Didn't you say they were... There's an issue? Toffs haven't heard that word in a long while. Go Devils. I have, because I'm reading Flavia de Luce. Okay. Okay. There's a contagion of contagious form of cancer among the devils, but there are disease-free devil reserves set up in Australia. Those devils love them on Saturday. Yeah, Tasmanian devils. It is a contraction of Anglo-Saxon to foreign, meaning superior. The stupid thing we needed to get Disney's permission to call the Tasmanian Football Club the Tasmanian Devils, despite using that name for our animal since the 19th century. Good old Disney. At least they gave it up eventually. Favorite books is Demons by Dostoevsky. That has nothing to do with actual devils or spirits. Disney is now going after anyone using Thor. You know, I went to school with a boy named Thor. Does Disney say he can't use his own name? Shouldn't be surprised. Walt was known to be a bastard. I'm sure this was after Walt. Or maybe it wasn't. Well, Tasmanian Devils was Warner Brothers, and I don't think they got absorbed by Disney till later. Okay, so I think I need to wrap the underside with the same yellow to blue scheme. Yeah. Okay. His head is still frozen. Is that a myth or not? I've heard for ages that Disney's head was frozen and kept under the Magic Kingdom. They've been suing Scandinavian businesses for making Thor amulets. Oh my goodness. Because, I mean, I'm sure it's like some type of religion, pagan or not, in Scandinavia, or culturally significant. Can't copyright a name like Thor. I don't know. Seth Skorkowski had to pull a video of YouTube and stop T-shirt related to the video because it mentions Thor. Well, they're nuts because they will get nowhere with those lawsuits. Sheer greed to corporations, yeah. I was wrong. It was Warner Brothers, not Disney, that needed to get. Okay, that makes sense because I know Warner Brothers was Bugs Bunny and all them. Okay, so what I want to do is get some black. To hopefully bring this all together. It's annoying me there's this white streak. There. Okay. Some girls with the name Daenerys are running into trouble getting passports because the name is copyrighted. Oh no. No, the limit on book copyrights only lasts something like 60. I think it's a little different than that. Well, I'm sure every jurisdiction is different, but I think it's the life of the author plus a period of time. But as long as the author is alive, there's still a copyright. That's my understanding anyway for U.S. law. But I think even after the author dies, they can, the heirs or the trust or whatever can keep the copyright going. Certainly the case for Tolkien and the Sherlock Holmes estate. Right, is there a dark spot here? Crap. There's been so many books about Thor, like American Gods. It's been around for so long. I mean, my favorite book on Thor, the Thor mythos, is The Last of the Renche. If you like high fantasy and the Thor mythology, it's so good. Okay, so I think I do. I don't know if I want to ruin it putting glitter over this. I think I'm going to leave it like this. I kind of want glitter. But I kind of need to be real precise. I don't know if this is even going to show up on camera, or if you guys can see the glitter, but I think when it catches the light. You guys are probably wondering what the heck am I doing? Okay. 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 There's just one chunky piece of glitter I wanted to move. Thank you, Frank. I wouldn't be caught dead wearing Ugg boots in public. I wear them around the home. I've never had a pair. They look comfortable, especially, you know, if you live in a cold weather. Most people know the horned helmet stuff is wrong. People that wore horned helmets in antiquity were Celts. Wouldn't be caught dead wearing a horned helmet. Sign of strength and vitality. Heard they got the idea from a Wagner opera. Well, speaking of German helmets, what was that pointy, those old German, like World War I helmets had like the little point at the end? Did people actually like headbutt so it was actually useful, or was it just decorative? I don't know. Robert Baratheon was a stupid thing to do in battle. Oh, the stag helmet. Predates Wagner by a few thousand years. Yeah, you would think that any type of horns or points, they would have some type of utility other than just like some type of military thing. I don't know. Horny. They wore horned helmets. Their opponent had something to grab a hold of. Heard that Hugh Hefner wanted to call Playboy Mag's Stag Party, but another mag threatened to sue him. Oh dear. Mostly worn by commanders so the war bands could see the leaders. Oh, okay. So they're like little flags. Grab onto long hair too, and long beards. Okay, so I'm just doing a red lip. I'm not I'm not going to attempt to do anything fancy. Or should I? God. No, I'm just doing a red lip. Just. I don't usually use a beard corrector, which is sort of a red or orange, usually orange underpaint to make your beard disappear, because with the lights and the camera, you usually can't see it. But if I thinking about going out, I did do it today, but I only had like a oil-based makeup, and it's a little, I don't know if it worked. because if I do go out, it'd be like hours from now. So, and the beard does grow and rather quickly. Mm. Most soldiers cut their hair before battle. I know that Custer did before the Battle of Little Bighorn. Were you in the UK military? Celts would bathe and wash their hair, beards, and mustache before battle. So all those movies showing Custer with long hair and Little Bighorn was wrong. Custer's last words, where'd all these damn Indians come from? I nearly joined the RAF, but could not sign paper swearing loyalty to Elizabeth, being both Scots and British. Interesting. They either cut it or lost it sometime before the battle. Wasn't Lakota named for Custer Longhair? If she had been Elizabeth I of Britain, then I would have been in RAF for 25 years. Okay, if you didn't notice, I just screwed up these lips. So, oh boy. Yeah, this, okay, I'm going to have to start this over a little bit. Hopefully not the whole thing, but the color corrector, the foundation, everything is just like caking up. Oh, I'm so frustrated. Okay. This will have to do for now. It's going to be an armorer. What? Army officer I admire was Silas Soule, who refused to let his soldier take part in Sand Creek Massacre. Read a biography about that. He would be in charge of the guns. They were militia led by so-called Christian minister. So many interesting little nuggets of history that we just don't know about unless you stumble upon it. Read Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee, wish I still had that book. Silas Soule. Also one about Ned Wincoop, who was a very angry when Soule told him about the Sand Creek Massacre. Yeah, yeah. American government has broken every agreement is made with Native Americans. I loved Buried My Heart at Wounded Knee. Okay, so I want a fresh pair of eyelashes. Now I'm trying to hurry because I know I spent way too much time. So it's been an hour and 20 minutes. I've definitely done worse, but especially since I tried doing the new look with this rainbow. At least now regarding Indians, we have the courtesy to at least be a little bit embarrassed by it. Before it was celebrated of taking advantage of Indians. We just talked about him a couple weeks ago, Tippecanoe and Tyler too. They were war heroes for not very great reasons for what they did to the Native American population during the War of 1812. Okay, so I think this is the final look. I attempted a rainbow look. Which isn't too bad for the first time. And the wig I got, well, let's put on some jewelry. Mind what the English did in India and parts of Africa are just as bad. Pilots eventually went back to Vietnam and were treated as heroes. 1930s bombed native Kenyan villages to drive them out for plantation owners. One of the reasons the West is so rich and powerful is because all the stuff we stole from those places we colonized. Thank you, John. Myanmar's in Kenya revolted. Same thing happened in Australia to our indigenous people. Yep. And let's not forget that the English themselves, I don't know if it's ironic or not, but they were colonized by the Romans. So it's a vicious cycle. Welcome to the monkey house. Just a reference to Kurt Vonnegut's novel, where he looked at, oh God, how when a large monkey beat on a smaller monkey, the smaller monkey turned around and beat up an even smaller monkey. So it's just this cycle of dominance, I guess. Okay, so the wig I grabbed is this white wig. And the design for this is based on Dolly Parton's hairstyle in 9 to 5. Oh dear. So yeah, this is fine. I may or may not go out in public with this. See how I feel. And today filming, I probably just am going to, what time is it? Yeah, I'll try to get a Shelve It or Shove It for December. So really, really looking ahead. And I should be here next week. Let's see, next week is, yeah, I should be here the next 2 weeks. And then on the 2nd, I'll definitely be gone, the first week of November. Okay, guys. Fantastic conversation we're having here. And I hope everyone has a great week. As usual, may all the books you read be blessed.